Sorry, that was awful. Jump scare. Okay, so this invention, I invented this, but several other people have invented it too. So I'm not the only one to have invented this idea. I found another guy who came up with a similar one online, which used these sort of oval lobes, and it works pretty much the same. If you look at my Auckland video, there's a description of it in there, but I wanted to simplify the description. So I don't take full credit for this. I take partial credit, as they say in what's it called, Simpsons, when he has two Pepsis and you take away one Pepsi, and what you're left with Pepsi. Partial credit. That's such a clever joke on maths. You know how we view maths. I always think of mathematicians are kind of like people that are kind of like tying their hands behind their back all the time to try to prove how smart they are. If you get rid of the idea of logic and definiteness from maths, it becomes a lot more of a free-form subject, and you can kind of play with it a bit easier, and it's a bit of a softer, it's a bit of a kind of a softer idea, or it's a softer subject. You don't have to prove everything. Doesn't have to be proofs. Like you can create like non-logical spaces and things like that, where it's like the axioms of maths are actually wrong and they've been proven wrong and things like that, because that concept exists. We can't actually see it using the tools we have, but the concept itself will exist. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So Pumpine engine, okay? So everyone knows what a pump is, okay? I'm going to put the general one that's used in motors on engines. I'm just going to draw a simple one like that. A pump. There's two types of pumps really: a piston pump and a kind of a display. I think it's called a displacement pump. It's basically where the seals go. So, like the hydraulic pumps, the seals go on the cylinder walls. They stay still on the cylinder walls. Whereas with a kind of a car engine's pump, they stay still on the car engine's piston. So that's a piston. It's simple. The guy basically, you put valves at the top. As that goes down, the volume inside gets bigger, sucking in air, and then you close it off or change the valve, and you push up, and the volume goes out, and it gets pushed into air. Now, a pumpine is this. Now, I know it's going to blow your mind. So a pumpine is this. There we go. So that's a pumpine. It's the exact same as that. That's all it is. And the difference is in how it's timed, those inlets and outlets. And that's what a steam engine is. A steam engine is a pumpine. That's how a steam engine works. It takes the pressurized gas and turns it into momentum. I gave it a cool name called a pumpine because it makes giving things cool names tends to make things a lot clearer. So that'll act as a steam engine, and that'll act as a pump. So between it, the pumpine of the first kind I created was this. Okay, so that is the pump, and it's pumping compressed air and gas into a revolving door. The revolving door spins around, and then the gases and air are either auto-ignited from the flame that's already there, or they explode, and they explode by ignition. So it then sends it out through the steam engine part of the device. And all you have to do is connect the two together. So connected, so they are always that will spin at the same speed. That'll connect. They're connected, so it's like a bicycle or like a drive shaft. They're connected, so they spin at the same speed. And that's basically what a pumpine engine is. Now, there's a way to make it better, which is the Pumpine Mark II. It's quite a simple concept. So you take that, you take the two pumps again, or the pump and the Pumpine. You take the pump and the Pumpine. Sorry, it's just going to take a while to draw this. And then you put okay. So again, similar setup again. Pump, Pumpine, revolving door valve. The difference is that the revolving door valve now acts as a pump itself. So what you do is you add a bit of area. You make that pump slightly bigger to compensate for the area that's being lost by pumping the fuels through the system. So that then means that when the revolving door is going around, it doesn't have to exhaust its gas through an empty port. So it acts as a revolving door by connecting to that. You could also have it so its speed is different to that. So you get the same effect by having a slightly different speed than that. So a different torque or a different leverage of the wheels. So that's basically the Pumpine engine. It's super simple. It's basically a jet engine in pump form, or a gas turbine in pump form. With that, you can take you can use nested chambers, and you can get super high pressures, like going into the diesel range. Like you could get maybe 10,000 pounds per square inch, and you could get super high efficiency diesel engines using that technique. So that's basically the Pumpine engine. It's quite simple, and it's basically how my Oclam engine works. My Oclam engine is basically a Pumpine engine, but it uses crown pumps. And the reason it uses crown pumps is because it doesn't have a bladed contact. A bladed contact is like that, whereas an edged contact is like that, which means it's infinitely longer than a point contact. So that's the idea of the Oclam engine. So that's a simple concept, profoundly explained by yours truly, the inventor. Anyway, yeah, Pumpine engines. Go make one, go do one. I'm a theoretical inventor. I don't have a workshop. That's when I'll become a physical inventor. But for the moment, I'm a theoretical inventor. So go enjoy my and your inventions, because when you build one of these engines, you're also creating it too. Creation isn't an instant in time. There's no first inventor. There's no first creator. Just a continuation of people who love the things they're doing. And if you love the things you'll do, you'll go far, because that's how this universe works. It wants to see you happy. So that's my advice on the Pumpine engine, and I hope you fall in love with your engines too.